We're back with Dr. Thomas Zacharia on this Sunday morning. He is leaving ORNL, but let me just talk about his history for a second as John North gets set to ask some more questions. Dr. Zacharia, I got this from a friend of yours, Billy Steer. I don't think he'd mind if I mention this. He said Dr. Zacharia is a very rare example of someone who started at the bottom of ORNL 35 years ago and has worked his way to what many now would argue is, if not the best, then certainly among the best research labs in the world. You paint yourself as an immigrant story, coming to this country in New York with 8 rupees in your pocket, going down to Ole Miss, earning a degree, and really launching into what has become an extraordinarily successful career. What can you say about your story and how it relates to the immigrant discussion we're having today in this country?
Well, I think my story is indeed that of an immigrant story, and I still bring that immigrant's ethos to my life every day. As you said, I came with everything that I had in my suitcase and $8 in my pocket. And so I try to make sure that I'm worthy of the opportunities that is given to me, and I take nothing for granted. Now, I joined the lab as a postdoc, which is where a scientist starts. And I've really done almost every job there is to be done between being a postdoc and lab director. We're very fortunate, and I'm just plain lucky to have had the opportunity to be part of this laboratory and also part of this amazing East Tennessee community.
As John said, you sort of have the immigration framework in terms of how you look at the world and your role in it, which is a really fascinating way to look at the world. I don't have that vantage point that you do, but I wonder if it relates as well to the culture at ORNL and sort of the breadth of the research and the people that are there. Could you pull the curtain back a little bit and talk about that?
Well, the story of Oak Ridge National Laboratory is that of an immigrant story. If you think about it, 80 years ago, or nearly 80 years ago, at the Manhattan Project, 60 to 70,000 people from all over this country. Many of those were immigrants from Europe, fleeing really dire conditions. They came to East Tennessee to be part of something that are bigger than themselves, to win the war and change the world. And I think the lab still adheres to that core value that it was founded on. And I think, I believe that that challenge of moving to a carbon-free future and creating a world that is, better than what we inherited for our children and our grandchildren is a worthy enough goal that is, if not Manhattan Project, certainly similar or even better, more challenging than that.
Under your leadership, I just wanted to give some perspective. It's gone from maybe 4,500 employees to now 6,000 employees in a budget that has gone from $1.5 billion to $2.4 billion. Let me ask you this. Something we've seen grow exponentially is the supercomputer area. From the first supercomputer at the lab, let's say it could travel 100 miles an hour if it was a car. How fast is the fastest supercomputer now at the lab?
Well, if you're comparing to a car, I would say I would compare it like a supersonic or a hypersonic kind of a vehicle. So let me put that in perspective. The fastest computer that we just unveiled is really defines America, right? We challenged ourselves to an audacious goal, and that we did everything that we needed to do together with our partners, industrial and academic partners, to achieve that. To deploy the first ever exascale supercomputer in the world. And that's one with 18 zeros after that. Just for a decade ago, when we deployed the first fastest supercomputer in the world, it was Jaguar, which is a petascale supercomputer, right? So this is really 1,000-fold faster than that. Let me give you a perspective. The Frontier supercomputer has 74 cabinets. Jaguar, which was the fastest computer in the world just a decade ago, it will take 28 Jaguars to reach the power or the speed of one cabinet of the Frontier supercomputer system.
I think I was lucky roughly about 10 years ago to meet you, and you walked around with me and Frank Munger of the new Sentinel at Jaguar, and it was astonishing. So I can't imagine going from 20-some cabinets to 70-some cabinets. It's mind-blowing. But do you mind telling our audience why it is just so important that you can have such a profoundly skilled computer and the kinds of things that can be done, because it's incredibly important for modeling and really sort of replicating the world.
Yes, and so our partnership with industry, American industry, in developing and delivering Frontier does two amazing things. One is it is a scientific instrument like no other, and it's going to allow American scientists to be at the cutting edge, to do a number of things, inventing new materials, whether it's for quantum computers or new battery materials. Likewise, it will allow us to model and simulate fusion reactors or small modular reactors that TVA might deploy. And the list goes on. So it just gives you an amazing new tool, and that allows US scientists and America to lead the rest of the world. But also, simultaneously, what we have done is that we worked with our US industry partners to design and build a machine that has components that is going to have the economy-wide impact. Let me explain what I mean by that. The computing processors that AMD designed and built for us to go into this machine is 200 times more energy efficient than the processors that were in Jaguar. And these computers are going into data centers, they're going to go into, electric vehicles, they're going to go into computers, gaming systems, etc. So it is going to have an economy-wide impact from the simplest of application to the leading edge application in medicine and new technology.
Dr. Zacharia, we're going to take another quick break on Inside Tennessee and talk more right after this.